Stand still, Phil. Right. With us tonight's Phil Martin. Phil, I understand you're getting an award here tonight.
Yeah, still believe.
What is it for?
I'm hoping it's that 500 quid they fined me a few weeks back. Services to boxing, I've been told, you know, whatever that's supposed to mean. You know.
Well, you've got four British champions now, haven't you?
Yeah.
So perhaps that's something to do with it, do you think?
God, yeah, it must be, obviously, yeah.
So what plans have you got in the future for your fighters? I understand Paul Burke's fighting Billy Schwer in a couple of weeks, isn't he?
Next Wednesday.
And Frank Grant on the same night?
Yeah.
So what about you other boys, Carl Thompson and Maurice Corr?
He's the managerial challenger for the European title, so I expect that to take place in January. You know, whether it'll take place in Italy or over here, it may. We're negotiating at the moment.
Who would that be against?
Against Maximilian Grant.
And what about Maurice Corr?
He's fighting on the 1st of December against Mike Harris at York Hall.
Oh yeah, the guy from West London. Simon Harris.
The one who knocked out McCarthy.
Yeah, that's the one. Now, what other plans have you got in the future up in Manchester? Are you going to put on any more shows?
Yeah, I want to put on shows, but it's difficult. It's difficult to put the fighters on, you know, without television, and that is a battle, a door that's been shut, you know, and at the moment I intend to kick it down. We'll find a way of kicking it down. You know? It's only a matter of time. I'm running a show jointly with Frank Warren at York Hall, defending his title, and we're going to run one in Manchester. So we'll see, you know, we'll see how it develops.
All right, Phil. Thanks very much. Dead answer, look at you.
Should be
Oh yeah? Weight champion Maurice Corr. Maurice, what's your next fight out?
The next fight is Simon Harris.
From Hanwell. So is that going to be an early night?
Listen, it don't matter if it's going to be early or you know it's going to be late. The crowd's going to get entertainment and they're going to get what they paid for, and he's going to get one. I'm going to put this in the video.
Your last fight against John Kagan, that wasn't so entertaining, though, was it?
No. I mean, on that night, I don't know if you noticed, but everyone performed kind of the same. Everyone performed on the same, the same way. They all performed kind of the same. Everyone's about the project. I'm not sure if that was down to some of the movement in training, or just an occasion when it's part for a long time. But everyone's a bit ring rusty anyway. You know, my opponents got switched, and he come in the last minute. You know, so you know, it's like after the time, my mind wasn't even on the job, you know, in the first place. So, you know.
You've not got a very big profile as in a lot of other champions. Is that because you're up in Manchester and not getting the TV exposure that you would have?
Me personally, I mean.
You personally?
Well, you know, these days, you know, like people want to see a fighter, you know, like a well-known name fighter. And in the light heavyweight division, there's not many well-known names apart from myself. I don't know who else I'm supposed to fight. You know, but if I can break it big, you know, with anybody, you know, in the world, I will do. You know.
There was talk of you trying to get a world title shot against Andreas Maggi for the vacant title. What happened about that?
Well, we had my phone. This guy would fight for the title against him. It was a Barbara script, and with an opponent. And I was the only one training by that time. I was training in good shape. He was down to my weight, and I was training for the fight. The last couple of days, we were supposed to fight into the phone goes, tells me it's up, you know. So there's a Barbara got reinstated with the title. So you know, it happens, you know. But if it didn't happen, it was a chance, you know, a chance to step into it. We would have taken it as well.
All right, Maurice, thanks very much. Well, I want to say one more thing in a minute. Say, hi, I'm Maurice Cole. You're watching an Eric Guy video. Leave it up. Something like that. Yeah, I've got to plug myself.
What's this? How much do I get?
I'll leave it out. You get a discount on your videos. Wait a minute.
Hi, I'm Maurice Cole. You're watching an Eric Guy video.
One more. I'm Maurice Cole, British light heavyweight champion.
Okay. Hi, I'm Maurice Cole, British light heavyweight champion. Current number one right now. And you're watching an Eric Guy video.
Cheers, mate. You're a pal. Despite what they say.
You pay for these cars, you?
Hey?
You pay for these?
What calls? Yeah, of course I am.
You pay for everything, yeah?
Yeah. WBA Pentacontinental Super Middleweight Champion Nicky Piper. Nick, you had a fight a few weeks ago and got a draw. What happened that night?
Well, firstly, it was a very bad decision. Everybody said it was a bad decision. I won probably about 4 or 5 rounds. It was a good fight. I just boxed very badly to my own standards. I feel everybody's given me good write-ups. Television has given me good comments. But I think that I came down with a very bad cold that day. I'm still antibiotics now, and I'm absolutely shattered from the 3rd round onwards. So that's the reason. I was just very tired.
Now you must have seen the Ben Eubank fight, and you're a contender along the way somewhere.
Right.
When do you think you'll get another title shot?
I will get a world title shot the last week in January or the second week in February, but I'm going up to light heavyweight. I'll be boxing Lonsdale.
Do you think that'd be a wise move?
Yeah.
Because he is a bit of a puncher though, isn't he, Leon Zababa?
Well, he's not bad. He's one half the long points, half the high stoppage. I wouldn't say he's a massive puncher. I've always boxed better at light heavyweight. I moved down the weight to where the lucrative division was, super weights, and now I think it's time to move back up because the Ben situation is bound to reach for the next year.
Now, obviously, your last fight was at light heavy against Carl Thompson. We all know the result of that. Do you think you may be putting on too much weight, or do you feel more comfortable at super middle?
Actually, Eric, my last fight against Carl Thompson wasn't light heavy. It was
a catch weight, wasn't it?
It was a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
I mean, I was weighing 12.7, and that was a heavy 12.7. It was straight from the restaurant to the weigh-in because I knew I was going to match him 12.4. Carl Thompson weighed 13 stone 2.5. Probably came down a few pounds to make it closer because he knew he had to get close. So I mean, there was probably a stone in weight there. He was number 3 cruiserweight, but at that time I was number 7 light heavy. I was relatively inexperienced, and it was a very bad fight to take. Unfortunately, I didn't know the man's reputation, and
When would this title fight be and where?
This is in Cardiff, probably in the new Cardiff International Arena, Willie Walker's venue, and it'll be the last week of January on the first couple of weeks in February.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thank you, Eric. Cheers. Here we are.
I'm getting my little job as an interviewer now.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit better. Oh, look. it'll be on the Sunday Sport.
That's right.
Cheers, Nick. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, hold you.
Okay, with me tonight is John Morris. John, tell us about the awards for tonight.
Well, this is the 10th year, I think I'm right, and they started with the book, and Ray Clark was General Secretary then, and it's something that I've carried on with Barry Hugman, and it's the opportunity for the book and for the board to just pay tribute to some of the people within the game, and the best boxer of the year. Sometimes they've selected themselves, but I think they've all brought credit to boxing. This year it's Lennox Lewis, and well, we know what Lennox has done, but he's done a lot more, because as a person he comes over to the public at large as not only a very pleasant man, but a very intelligent man. Hence he could go and debate with the Oxford Union, which he did last week, and give a wonderful account of himself, and turn people who might not have thought very much about boxing, turn their thoughts to boxing and the way in which boxing people conduct themselves. And that's the example we want to give, and I think the award winners this year reflect that completely. They've all of them done very well in the ring or in their chosen jobs in boxing, but they also give a great deal to the sport, which is vital.
Now tell me about the other award winners tonight.
Well, Lennox Lewis is the Boxer of the Year. The Overseas Boxer of the Year is Crisanto Espana, who is, in fact, although he's a Venezuelan, he's licensed in Southern Ireland, but he gives us the opportunity to give him the award as the best overseas boxer. And really, when you think that he's had 3 WBA world title fights in Britain, winning his title when he beat Meldrick Taylor, then defending it in Belfast successfully, and now, although it's not in the year under review, absolutely taking Donovan Boucher apart at Manchester in October to retain the title, and I think that's thoroughly deserved. Then we have the fight of the year, which we all sat back and revelled in September of '92, which was Wally Swift defending his light middleweight title, British title, against Andy Till, Andy the Stoneface, and well, that was just 12 rounds of drama. Till got the decision, very, very close, and was accepted with a good grace, but also the fight itself will live on because it was a wonderful fight. Then we have the Sportsmanship Award, and that's gone to Nicky Piper. Not only a world contender, but a wonderful performer for boxing as a whole, the chairman of the new Professional Boxers Association, and that office and the way in which he's conducted himself is one of the reasons he's got it. It isn't just sportsmanship, he's becoming a diplomat as well, and I think he thoroughly deserves it. And then we've got the Services to Boxing Award that's going to be given by Ron Olver. It's going to be presented by Ron Olver. He's a man who's done a tremendous amount to serve boxing, and that is going to be handed to Phil Martin. Now, we are never racial in boxing, except to be proud of people who uphold everything that's good in boxing. And Phil Martin is great credit to the black guys in boxing as a promoter, and a manager, and of course he was as a fighter. And that is the way this sport has to go. And he's a wonderful, if you like, signpost of the way the sport's going to go. So I think, all in all, we've got a wonderful set of award winners.
John Morris, thanks very much.
All right.
Cheers, John.
Very nice. I'm very pleased with the awards this year. Very pleased with the decision.
So it's the 10th year.
10th year.
Just give me a second.
That's all set. With us is the WBC heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. Lennox, you fought a few weeks ago in Cardiff. A lot of different reviews about that fight. What was your version?
My version, you can't please everybody, but at least I got the job done. You know, it was a bit cold out there, but I got the job done. That's what I wanted to do now, to go on to better things.
A lot of people talking to me on the night about how you looked. Do you think you probably peaked a little bit early, because you were saying a few weeks before that fight that you were peaking and you got to slow down? Do you think that was a factor?
It was a factor. I found that Bruno really helped me to train because he was slagging me off so much. So I found myself working very hard in the gym, but my trainer said that I overpeaked a couple weeks earlier, and the funny thing, I was just overripe for the fight, and it took me a couple of rounds to get warmed up, especially with that temperature outside. But not making any excuses. Next time you see a better Lennox Lewis.
Well, Bruno was standing out before you, so he was getting a bit colder.
Yeah, but he somebody lit a light under his bum.
Now, the fight the weekend, that's the one that not many people have asked you about yet, I suppose. What was your verdict of it?
Well, basically, you know, you can go out there, you take anybody lightly. This is what can happen. You know, I look at that fight as being a fight basically just for greed. You went after the small money and see what can happen when you have a payday down the street that's worth a lot more than three of those fights put together, taking the chance, and that's what he did. So Frank calling me over there. I like to say enough respect to everybody out there. And who's the Lennox Lewis?
Wait a minute, are you finished? One more quick one.
Go on then.
Eric.
Okay, one more quick one for Eric.
Yeah.
What do you ask the question?
Right, just say, I'm Lennox Lewis, you're watching the video by Eric Guy. Wait, shut up. They're good.
I'm Lennox Lewis, and anybody that's got this video is a thief.
And now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to somebody who perhaps doesn't need any real introduction, Reg Guthridge.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, Bernard actually said, oh, it's blood from the sun again. It's all right. Bernard said, would you say a few words? I had no idea it was also formal, and that the name would actually be on the menu, and then I'd get such a marvellous introduction from Sir David Hopkins. You're going to get names mixed up like that. It's a really good job he's retired from the bench. Shining wit. That's a spoonerism, actually. That's for the educated mind. I've already enjoyed watching the boxers stand up. I hardly recognised Walker and Conti, but it was nice to hear old friends of mine. Normally in this hall, they only dish out porridge. So I'm quite relieved that the food was excellent tonight. But if anybody asks you an opinion, don't give it, because I'll send you a bloody bill. I'm rather pleased too that you got rid of that three-tier system that you had last year, where the tickets were so much for under 50s, so much for 50, and also the price for those who became 50 when they listened to the speech. But the brevity surprises me this year. We've been waiting, actually I'm delighted to be at Lennox Lewis's bar mitzvah. We've waited 100 years to have a heavyweight champion, but they're just like buses. We've got two in the same bleeding weekend. Actually, this is a good area for me because, as most of you know, or some of you know anyway, I've worked for 40 odd years in the Evening News in Fleet Street. And just out of interest in the straight, I actually got the job. My dad was in the fight game and all that, and he said, at that time you got in the newspapers, and I was all 14 at the time. I just got out of the short trousers. And he took me to the back of the Bell pub opposite St Bride's Institute, where, strange enough, I did box for St Bride's Institute. I was very young at the time. And we used to give exhibitions. My dad's twin brother's son, Jackie, who became Jackie Pallow, the wrestler, which
which is why we made him change his name, because we weren't going to have our name dispersed by bloody wrestling. Anyway, I was too young at 14 to go in the pub. I can see it now, I've got back all the memory of driving past it tonight, with this big arrowroot biscuit in my hand and a bottle of lemonade, and my dad saying, "What paper do you want to work for?" He's shouting from the saloon bar where the boxing writers were in. And I said, "I don't mind." So I joined the Evening News, which those days this sold 2 million, which is more than some of the nationals were selling today. So driving past brought me back a long way. That's the only part of the serious bit I used to think, because I couldn't get Jim Watt to come because he's in trouble with the missus, he's always in trouble with it. He goes out and plays golf quite a bit, he's always coming home late. And she says to him, and I won't do the Scottish accent, but it's a bit hoarse and dry and weedy. He said, "You come home late once more," he said, "the bloody bag will be packed out there and the door will be locked, you won't get in." It's all right. So sure enough, the next night he's over an hour late, this time coming back, and he's shouting to the letterbox, "Maggie, Maggie, you don't understand." He said, "I got a hole in one, you have to stay behind and buy everybody a drink." And she said, "Ah," she says, "You bastard, you did it on purpose." Two ladies are going into a health club, don't know each other, and she says, "See me come up in that Jaguar." She said, "My husband bought me that." She said, "Well, that's nice." The other one said, and they said, "See this diamond ring, he bought that last year when I came." She said, "Oh, that's nice." She said, "Does your husband buy you anything?" She said, "Yeah, he's at elocution lessons." She said, "What's that do for you?" He said, "I used to say piss off, now I say that's nice." And most women that you tell that to are already ahead of you. Anyway, I'm glad from the television point of view that the boxing business is doing good business today, it really is. Which is very good. If it gets to the nation, then the nation gets interested in you, and that's very important. And Simon Block made a very good speech on Friday night to Harry Carpenter. I shouldn't mention his name, should I? Without Frank Rubin. If he retires, he hasn't got an act, has he? I haven't thought of that. Now you wouldn't mind him, he takes the piss out of me. Why shouldn't I take the piss out of him? No, the Detroit ex-boxers, and Simon was saying that you really need a professional PR man to start to try and sell boxing as a whole, you know, the good points about boxing. I believe there's a lot, isn't there? You know, because you're all converted, that's why you're here, aren't you? You feel for the game, and particularly, of course, the boxers, it's their living anyway. And basically, there's more troubles in other sports today than there are boxing, really, but we always get the blame for it anyway. Sometimes it's self-inflicted, I agree with that. Two boxers at this ex-boxers meeting, one said, "How are you getting on?" He said, "Fine." He said, "But I'm losing my memory a lot." He said, "But I'm all right now, I've had some tablets, they cleared it up." He said, "Really?" He said, "What they called?" He said, "Oh Christ, wait a minute, I can't remember." He said, "It's something that's a symbolic flower of some sort. Long stems, tulips, no. Daffodils, no." He said, "Rose." That's it. "Rose, what's the name of those tickets that you get here every year?" A few boxers like that one, I'm sure. Finally, sorry Mickey Duff's not here, but I wanted to say something while he was here. Somebody asked me the other day why he was hard of hearing and was losing his hair. And this is a bit of a visual, this one. How much? So that's the impromptu act. I promise you it can't do it. It's a pleasure to see all the old faces here. I was only joking about Billy and John anyway. Thanks very much for inviting me, and well, with luck we might still be working next year. Thank you.